Hey there. Wait, let me just get over here. Get some breathing space for you guys. Hi. How you doing? Good? Great. Today's topic is going to be why people like movies and stories. Cue music. So, yes, there are some exterior reasons why we like stories, whether you're enjoying a campfire glow or just cuddling up with a good book. But what I'm going to focus on is more of the ideas that make us enjoy movies and stories. My personal theory is people like stories for two main reasons: the relationships that they give, the perfect relationship, and the escape that they give from reality. Although those two topics are very vague, let me just specify for you. When I say escape from reality, that doesn't mean our reality right now is crashing down. It can simply mean that we're under a lot of stress and pressure, which we can experience from work or school or maybe even from a person. Almost everybody can relate to stress or pressure. That is why we seek a distraction, a temporary escape from our current reality. Now, I bet some of you guys are going, What? What are you talking about? I'm in college, I have a good education, I have a dog named Doodaloo, I have a good family, I have a good job, I have a good car. I still like movies, but I'm not really not happy, so what more am I looking for? Tell me, please. You're probably lying, aren't you? Calm down, alright? I'm not done yet. I have like 7 minutes left. Okay, next one. When I say relationship, I don't necessarily mean romantic. It could be friendship or parentship or cruise ship. I sometimes categorize humans as packed animals. The relationship that we have with our community is very important. We all want to talk to each other and have a connection. There are some people who actually are very well off not having contact, but naturally we have, I think, a need to talk to other people. But of course, this is just a personal theory. Communication. That is one of the many branches of perfect relationship. Unfortunately, some of the branches of relationship is not easily found, and communication is also hard to maintain, but I feel like it is a very big chunk of the tree of relationships. In movies, we are watching a specific moment in time or a time span where characters are literally being thrown at, well, not literally, but are kind of being led the way towards each other to create and maintain this perfect relationship, which is what we all want, because who doesn't want a perfect relationship? Yes, there are bumps in the road throughout the movie, but in the end, there's usually a happy ending, which is what we strive for. Of course, I can't speak for everybody who does or doesn't want that perfect relationship, but I feel like it would be a good thing to have. And of course, these characters don't have to have a romantic relationship. There are a lot of movies about father and daughters. There's a lot of movies about friends, co-workers, neighbors, space friends that go around the world saving people. I'm Groot. Just as I related relationships to us being packed animals, I relate our need to escape reality as our need to escape a sinking ship. The little lifeboats or little dinghies are the stories and movies that we run into to help move on with our lives and escape temporarily. I can't really explain this part without being too redundant, so I asked some other people, about 3 other people, to tell me what they think and why they think movies and stories are kind of like an escape for others.
Gosh, that's pretty complex. I think it changes. I think when we're young, stories are for our imagination. They grow our imaginations. They give us things for our imaginations to chew on. So when we hear a story and there's adventure or scary or just any kind of thing that the hero or the people in the story go through, we kind of put ourselves into the story and we find those heroic moments in ourselves. So it's escapist, but we're not escaping from life. We're escaping into the story to learn about life, I guess. And then as we get older, I think maybe it does become more purely escapist at that point, where people have terrible days and they go to the movies or they read stories just to get away from their own life. But I think also underlying all narrative is there's a pedagogic or dialectic sense to it. There's information to be learned, and it's a great way to teach without like a textbook or excuse me. It's a great way to teach without being very direct. You can come in and out on a story and get to your point kind of the back way. And I think also stories provide all sorts of role models and mythic models for people. So there's a lot of reasons to like them so much.
People still watch movies and listen to stories because, well, it captivates them and takes them into a different world. Every day, for the most part, we go through the same things, and oftentimes we get bored of it. And, listening to a story or watching that movie will take us into a different world, and it will show us life through a different person's perspective and show us a different experience that we may have not experienced before. Even if it is a somewhat vaguely similar movie to one we have already saw, it's still different in some shape, way, or form, whether it's the actor or there's a slight plot difference. Overall, we still watch movies and listen to stories to be entertained. Our daily lives sometimes bore us, and well, a movie or a story is a perfect way to get out of our lives for a short 2.5 hours and see a different world.
Oh, just everything from the humor to following the story to the adventures in it to, one thing about movies especially, there's a sense of what happens next, especially if a movie is made correctly. So that sense of what is going to happen in the movie just being beyond us, and we enjoy trying to figure that out and seeing what's going to happen next. So I think that's one of the big reasons, especially for movies, is that sense of what could happen. Oh no, what could happen? Personally, why do I like stories? Oh my gosh, I think I like them for just about every reason. I think there's things to learn. There's role models to get. There's connections to make with history. There's a delight, I think, in knowing the structure of a good story and reading something that's really well written and how it's pulled off. And I read a wonderful novel by a guy named Martin Amis called London Fields, and it's not like a book where you read and you come away with some kind of deep wisdom, but he's such a virtuoso writer, and it's just so entertaining and just, it's like a high wire act of writing. It's just so well written that it's stunning. And for that reason alone, it's worth something, there's like this wow factor. And then there's someone like George Saunders, who not only writes at a fantastic level, but also just comes at interesting ways to hit the human condition. I think one of the great things about a story is they let you talk about issues right now or things that are really personal right now, but move them into safe realms. Like Star Trek: The Next Generation had a wonderful episode about homosexuality, but they set, the show is in the future, so the whole thing was set far in the future, and it was about a planet with androgynous beings, but instead of all the beings being androgynous, some of the beings lean towards being male or women, men or women, or male or female. And then at the end, this being that was leaning towards female was caught and reprogrammed, and the whole thing was kind of horrifying. But she had a speech at the end that was just brilliant, and it really spoke about gender. And it didn't speak about it in a preachy way. It just kind of provided this canvas on which you could paint your own thoughts. So it's just fantastic. So I think that's, some of the things about stories and narrative and movies and such that work for me.
There you go. It's a general concept where people like movies for different reasons. I just happen to focus on those 2 reasons. And hope you like watching, subscribe, and yada yada yada.